Suffocate. We've now got Lee on the line from the Funeral Portrait. Now, I was just thinking that you've come a long way, Lee, because we chatted, I think for the first time 18 months, possibly 2 years ago. And I think at the time you possibly apologized because your mum may have been doing the hoovering next door. And now here you are, Five-Finger Death Punch, Marilyn Manson, Slaughter to Prevail on tour in Texas. And I feel you have reached stratospheric heights in everything.
Yeah, it's crazy what a difference a year and a half can make, right?
Exactly. Yes. So when we chatted, I think it was it around about Dark Thoughts, or one of the first singles you put out there. Now Greetings from Suffocate City is out, and
yes, it is.
As you alluded to our last interview, but wouldn't tell me, but dropped a lot of hints. It came out.
Yeah. I wonder, I wish I would have went back and watched what we did, because then I could be like, so you remember when I said this? Well, It actually turned into this, because honestly, a lot has kind of even changed since then, because we, even though our record was technically done back then, we got rid of some of the songs that I thought were done back then and got new songs since then. So it's kind of crazy how much has changed.
Just 7 years of true believer. You wake up choking with the pill on your face. Every blade made a race.
Because I mean, now the album is out, I've got it, and I'm a fan and I love it. The album is absolutely brilliant, and I'm thoroughly enjoying all the tracks on it. What does it feel like to finally have that out? And I think at the moment Suffocate City is number 8 in the Billboard charts, is it?
Yes, I think 7. I think it just went up to 7 this week. So hey, not bad, right? Think of where we were a year ago. So
exactly. So does this meet the expectations that you had? Because presumably there's always the fear that you've got an album, it's good, you're getting good feedback, but presumably when it finally hits the floor running, you don't know, do you, until...
Yeah, of course. I think for us, we still won't know until a few more days of what it did, quote, first week, right? But I am happy. The thing is I am very happy. I'm happy that it's just out, to be honest. I think for us, the idea of it just being released is more important than it being on Billboard or any of that. I think we worked so hard on this record. It took us like basically 5 years to release this record. And it was just kind of like, all right, it's now finally time. Let's do it. We're on this big tour, like just everything led up to this moment, but I'm happy. It took us basically 2 years of releasing singles to kind of get to this point. But, we also treated it kind of like a new band. Yeah, we've been a band for 10 years, but like technically I really say that it's only been about, since 2019, for us.
Never getting out of here. They say just settle down. You're never getting out of this place. Welcome to Suffocate City. We're never getting out. Never getting out of here. They say just settle down. You're never getting out of this place. Welcome to Suffocate City. You think you've had enough, but boy, it's just the half of it. That's when they pull the plug. You're never getting out of this place. Welcome to Suffocate City.
So do you consider this is your second album, but do you consider this your first album in the incarnation that you were at and the sound that you've got?
Yeah, I definitely, we call it our debut record, so you can debut twice, and this is our second debut. so that's where we're at right now with it. Again, it's
can I interject, because
yes, of course,
surely with some of your religious themes that I've seen in the video, can we not call this the second coming?
This is the second coming. This is the second coming of the funeral portrait. No, and that's something that we joke about all the time. We always say, because so we have one of our guitar players, Caleb. We have BC before Caleb, and then after Caleb. So BC, TFP, BC, and then TFP. Now. So the second coming of the funeral portrait.
Never thought it would end this way. Told myself I could finally break the cycle of this cage, but there's no escape.
So tell us why Suffocate City. I mean, obviously that's one of the tracks on the album, but and I've seen you be quite vocal about mental health issues and bullying and things, and is that where a lot of this album comes from?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I grew up being bullied. I grew up, just being an outcast, a misfit, quotes, all of these, any name that you could ever think of, I was, at the time. And I just, I remember what it was like, and I just really wanted to write a record and perform a record and do a record for those people, right? The people that are either my age or older that grew up dealing with these things, but also for the younger generations that still have to deal with it every single day, and it's cool that it's making its way around, and that the right people are finding the songs in this record, and it's cool. It's been a really fun, unique experience.
Can't drink, can't drug, can't drown them away. Can't sleep, can't think, can't find an escape from these dark, dark thoughts in my mind. Can't drink, can't drug, can't drown them away. Can't sleep, can't think, can't find an escape from these dark, dark thoughts in my mind.
And that's something that's really important to me is it's, I don't know, I grew up, some of the music that I loved, my mom liked as well, and being able to go and be in the car or wherever it was, we could be together and we could listen to the same music, and her enjoy it and me enjoy it at the same time, was really special moments, and, hearing that from parents or from kids or whatever, like I was listening to the radio and your song came on and my dad turned it up because he loved that song and he had no idea that I loved that song. And it was this great, moment together. And now we're at the show together, and I take photos, after the show and everything with all these people. And so many of them are like parents, their kids and stuff, or like, it's crazy to have those moments together. And that's so important to me. It's cool to be a part of that, or be a reason to have, parents spend time with their kids, or kids spend time with their parents.
Can't drink, can't drug, can't drown them away. I can't sleep, can't think, can't find an escape from these dark, dark thoughts in my mind. Oh, my head is a prison. No one ever visits. It's just you and me till the end, waiting for my sentence. If I find an exit, will you still follow me?
And do you find it cathartic to a certain extent writing about this? Because in my learning curve of mental health, one of the things I have learned is talk about it. You get so much love and outpouring from people if you talk. Don't bottle it up. Go out there and talk about it.
Talk about it. Well, and that's a huge thing. Is so, like, recently I made a pretty big post on social media about, my mental health, and there was on World Suicide Prevention Day, and stuff like that. And it's so important to just talk about it. And it's cool to me. I don't know, growing up, the bands that I loved, they did talk about it, right? Now, back then, they didn't have social media really, MySpace was a thing, but it wasn't as public, right? It wasn't as blog format as or that you can make Instagram now, or whatever, a TikTok or whatever it is, So for me, it was cool to make these posts, and be like, okay, like, everybody on my feed or everybody that follows me can read this and read my story, and so many people connected with it, and it is cool, and it's what these songs are about. These songs are about my life and our lives as a band and what we've all been through.
Negotiated like a process. You come out swinging with the rest of your demands, but they're already making plans. Don't get too high and mighty for your britches, or you might end up in stitches. They'll have their pound of flesh, feel their hands round your neck.
And tell us a little bit about the album's got a whole host of, I guess it's our other artists signed to Better Noise, but you've got a whole host of guest stars on the album.
Yeah.
Suffocate City, Spencer Charnis, who I saw that you premiered the album at his Horror Fest on Friday, was it?
Yeah. Yeah. So he has this horror convention that he does, and he invites a bunch of famous movie stars and other bands and stuff, and they get to they hold a concert every year. And last year is the first time that I met him and fully met him. I've known him throughout the years, but kind of sat down with him, and he invited us to play last year's convention, and I sent him Suffocate City after the tour or after the show, and he listened to it. And he was like, hey, like, I love this, and I was like, would you want to be featured on it? And he was like, oh my God, yes, let's do it. And kind of one thing after the next led to it, and then it was kind of full circle moment that we were able to go play at the con and meet people and hang out the day that it was released. So it was definitely like a moment of like, okay, like, it worked so perfectly.
Does anybody really want to live forever? Ask me when the party's over. I'm too having fun. And everybody wants a happy ending. No more tears, the world is ending. Love the kids do.
And Burt McCracken, and you've got Eva Under Fire and Asking Alexander all on there.
Well, and that's it too. It's like, so like the deal with with Burt. So I made a list of, because our A&R was like, make a list of people that you want to feature on the record or work with or whatever. And Burt was pretty high up there because I grew up loving the Used. And she was like, I actually know his manager. Like, what if I sent him the song? Maybe he wants to be on it. And so she sent You're So Ugly When You Cry to Burt's manager. Burt's manager then sent it to Burt. Burt listened to it. Was like, I have to be on this. He's like, this is it. Like, this song is so cool. I want to be featured. So he literally the next day, went, recorded his vocals, sent it over. And then by the end of the week, we're filming the music video. And it was literally so fast. It was just like one thing after next after next. And then it was out literally 3 weeks after that. So it was cool to have like all these like things happen so fast for us. And then next thing we know, we get this tour offer, and then the record's going to come out, and then this, and then it's just been insane.
I get the impression you must be living your best life at the moment, don't you?
It is. It's stressful. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people kind of forget that like we're human, so I think a lot of people out there are like, it's weird because I've also opened myself up to a lot of people and to accept a lot of people. And I want people to DM us and message us and be really, because I love being open. But right now, when I go check my Instagram, because we released the record, on top of the normal messages, it's all these people listening to it. And so it's just like insane how much it is. And I mean, I can't complain. This is the life that we've been building for so long. So it's crazy that it's actually finally kind of happening for us, and literally right now, this tour gets over tomorrow. We've been on it for a month and a half. And then after this tour, we're home for about a week. We go play one of the big rock festivals called Louder Than Life. Then we're home for another week. And then we have to go play another rock festival on the whole other end of the country. And then we start a whole tour with that Mongolian metal band, The Who.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yep. And so we go do that. And that's a month and a half. And then we got basically a month off. And then we start writing for, quote, the next record. Because that's a big thing is we don't want to wait. We don't want to wait. We have so many feelings. We have so many emotions. We have so many things going on right now. I don't want to wait another 5 years to do our follow-up record or to continue this story or whatever's next, for us. So I was like, we have a little bit of downtime. Let's just go start writing and see where our brains take us.
Oh, swimming in the deepest end. Yeah, I can feel you kicking in. You can take the boredom out of mind and carry me to paradise. Yeah, swimming in the deepest end.
It's hard because the music industry is so much about opportunity, right? And it's about finding those moments and grabbing them. And this is something I talked about at the Silver Scream Con, Iceland Kills This Horror Convention on Friday is, on stage, we got to play this like acoustic set. We've never done an acoustic set before in our lives, the way that we did it this way. And it was in front of like 500 people. It was packed out venue. It was great. We had a good time, but I was able to kind of tell some stories of the songs and what they mean and stuff. And before we played Some Gay City, I kind of talked about, how last year's Silver Scream Con was about taking that one moment. And all it takes is one moment, grabbing that moment and just really using it and really just diving in head first. This is Lee from The Funeral Portrait, and you're listening to Chaz Byrne right here on Express FM.
It's an elephant's room, 'cause I know what you're thinking. Burning my veins when I know you've been using. Your pretty white lies might hide the bruises, but you and I know what the ugly truth.
Will we get a chance to see you coming over and do UK dates at some stage?
Yes, yeah. We actually earlier this year we picked up a European agent, what they call rest of world agent. He kind of handles the rest of the world, while we have a North American agent, and we are working on something. It's all about the right time because, again, everyone knows it's very expensive to tour. Well, it's even double the expenses to tour in another country or multiple countries that you don't live in, because there's visas and you have to rent all the gear, you have to print all the merch, then you have to fly everywhere, then you have to rent a vehicle. Because here in America, we have a vehicle, right? So we just bought an RV, right? So we have that. So that takes that expense down a good bit, right? And then also we don't have to pay visas, or any of that. We just can travel. So there's a lot of fees, but we are working on it. I think maybe a festival or two, wink, wink, maybe something like that. So we'll see what fully comes of it, in the next few weeks. But we are definitely next year. It is 1000% happening.
Needle speaks, taking you from me. I can hear you fall, feel you hit the wall. So when we're pushing pins underneath your skin, I can feel it all. When the needle speaks, taking you from
this isn't a concept album as such. You know, the videos tie everything together, characters cross over, appear in it, and you can imagine what that would be like as a production on stage, you know, a theatrical event.
Exactly. And that's something maybe we'll see. I think I've dreamed of making our show more like a musical and less like a concert. And maybe on the next record, we'll be able to do that. You know, I think it all depends on what direction we fully want to go and which way we want to move it. And we'll see kind of what happens next. You know, I'm not putting a limit on us. I don't want to do that. We're not just a rock band. You know, this is for us, we eat, sleep, and breathe this band. You know, this is a production. This is a whole deal. This isn't just, and now that we're like hiring more people to come on tour with us and everything, this isn't just our lives anymore. It's everyone else involved now. You know, it's our managers, it's our booking agent, it's the label now, it's the lawyers, it's our merch girl, it's whatever it is. Every single person that's involved in this, their lives are dedicated to this now, and it's a huge part of what makes this band so special, is that we love to find people that believe in it just as much as we do.
They say your smile is a place I hold inside for when it rains. Well, it's true, I need you to figure it out for me. There was no best one, honest bully at best. Went right through me, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna miss you.
Actually, you said that perhaps with a deluxe edition will answer this question, but you said there were tracks on that were on the album that came off the album. I mean, are there some there that is, presumably that's because better candidates came forward, but presumably there are some on there that do you lament that aren't on there now?
Yeah, no, I think deluxe edition, I mean, I don't want to release a 40-track deluxe edition, but there is that many songs, you know, and there's a lot of songs that just never will see the light of day, but there's songs that we really believe in and that we love and that deserve their time as well, right? But like even like the last song on the record, Hearse for Two, that didn't make, so it's crazy because that was going to be the ending song on the record for like 5 years until at the very end, the label was like, oh, well, what about this song instead? And I was like, no, it has to be Hearse for Two. It has to be Hearse for Two. So we redid it a little bit, fixed what needed to be fixed, and it is the ending track. And it's like, oh, okay, like, heck yes. It deserved its moment.
Some days I just wanna wake up, brush the cobwebs off your heart, kiss your face and take your hand, lay beside you in the sun. If I die before you wake, pray that I am yours to take, from the earth up to the moon, just to rest in peace with you.
It's fantastic, Seeley. I'm absolutely delighted that the album's come out.
Yes, and I'll see you next year in person.
I quite like the little teasers you give me every time we do this. Just like,
yes,
I'll tell you when.
1,000,000,000% it is happening next year.
Excellent. So. And so hopefully a festival near us soon.
Yes. Yep. So a little bit of everything.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you ever so much,
my friend. So great to see you again.
And now you're never getting out, never getting out of here. They say just settle down, you're never getting out of this place. Welcome to suffering.